Okay, so I wanted to go through the top 5 questions that I'm asked regarding hearing aids. Question number 1: what are the best hearing aids for me? There is no best hearing aid for any patient right off the bat. Once we do the diagnostic exam and the communication needs assessment, we will have gathered a lot of data to be able to filter through all of the options to determine what is likely a really good option for you. We don't know it's the best hearing aid for you until you're fit with that make or model. And we have our checkups and we make sure that you are as successful as you can be. There are times where we learn new information and we have to go to a different model or a completely different manufacturer. But oftentimes we're in the right place from the beginning. We just want to make sure of that. There are different manufacturers and they're all putting out very fabulous technology because of their research and development, but they're not one size fits all. Even within a given manufacturer, there are different makes and models with different feature sets, different sizes, different powers. Some are easier to manipulate than others, and all of those things have to be taken into consideration to make sure that we are providing you with the best technology for you and your goals and your needs. The second question I hear often is, do I really need 2 hearing aids? Can I just get away with one? I completely understand that question, and I think it's a really good question to ask. But the answer is, if you have hearing loss in both ears, you most likely need to treat both of those ears because we hear with our brain, not with our ears. So the information that are coming into both sides of our head is being processed on the same side and on separate sides by our brain. And so we need that information to know where sound is coming from to actually gauge how loud or soft it is, to be able to understand better in background noise and a variety of other things. So if you have hearing loss in both ears, you need to treat both ears unless one ear is essentially not providing any quality information. And that's something that we can determine during your examination. And there are solutions if that's the case as well, if you're only really working with one side. Question number 3: what are best practices? We follow best practices here at Elevate Audiology. And what that means is that we are doing very thorough diagnostic examinations. We do speech and noise testing. We gather a lot of data to make sure that we're getting as much information about you as possible within medical necessity. And then regarding the actual fitting of hearing aids, one of the main things that we do is called real ear measure, where we actually put a microphone in your ear canal with the hearing aids on and off, play sounds at different volumes, and we actually are able to chart how loud the sound is at the level of your eardrum in these different situations. This is really important because these are not one size fits all. And we need to make sure that your ear shapes, which may be different even from one another, and your hearing loss and the settings of the hearing aid are all working together to give you access to the sound that you've been missing. We also want to make sure that you are properly instructed, that you have all the materials that you need, and that we're doing regular follow-ups, especially in that initial trial or adjustment period, to make sure that you're doing as well as you can be. And if we need to switch gears, we can do that in that time frame. So that's just a small summary of best practices for hearing or hearing aids. But we are doing the best we can to make sure that you are as most successful as possible. Question number 4: are hearing aids hard to handle? It depends on a variety of factors, one of which is your dexterity, the feeling in your fingers, and your visual acuity. For most people that have good vision and good feeling in their fingers, they're not hard to manipulate. They're pretty small these days, so some of the pieces and the cleaning pieces are very tiny. So as long as you can see them to clean them up, then you're going to do just fine. Some people need caretakers or somebody else to help them with some of that, and that's absolutely fine. We have a variety of options on how to teach people how to do that, how to clean them, how to maintain them, and then we do very thorough cleanings on the technology as needed, typically every 6 months. People have really waxy ears might need that more regularly, but we help monitor it for you. That's the physical cleaning and maintenance of them. Regarding using them and wearing them, no, they don't have to be complicated. It used to be very popular for people to have 3, 4 settings that you had to manually remember to manipulate. That's not as common these days because the technology kind of takes it over for you. Some people need those manual programs, but most people can be set to an automatic setting that we manipulate based on their needs. But you just kind of set it and forget it. You put them on and you just live life. And that's what makes them so fantastic these days. But the options are there for those that need to manually manipulate it, or some of the lower levels of technology just don't have some of those more advanced features. But we make it work the best way for you. The fifth question is, how much do hearing aids cost? And there's so much information out there, so I understand that it can be very confusing to know how much you should expect to pay. The way we have structured it here at Elevate Audiology is we have a wide variety of options of levels of technology, and then we have different care packages and service packages. We've put some together to make it easy for you, for those that just want to not have to worry about it, but we can also separate some of that out for those that need to pay as they go. So you can still get good quality hearing aids and good quality service. There are a wide variety of options, basic hearing aids that are still great, but just don't have as many advanced features or are meant for a quieter lifestyle, are going to be less costly than those that are way more advanced. And then you have your professional services, which add to the cost, but are kind of a separate bucket. And so you have your professional services for the initial fitting and adjustments, and then you have your care as you go. So when you put those two things together, that comes up with your total number. And what I feel is most important is, if you need the help and you are motivated to get the help, we are motivated to find a way to help you. We are here to help. Do not let cost stop you from ever entering the door, because you could be really surprised.